kids with ASU Queensland and ASU internationally.
And you've been doing that for quite a while, haven't you?
Yes.
How many years?
I think this is my 25th year.
Wow.
But only this year I've joined the ASU international team. So focus is still children, it's just that the arena has become much broader. So needs are the same the world over. I'm very passionate about networking. You know,
nice segue. Nice segue into the topic for today.
What are we talking about today?
Well, just so happens we're talking about networking. So in your roles, what sort of networking are you involved in?
I've long since learned, Steve, that no one person has all the answers and knows all the answers. And the longer I stay in the job, I think I know the value in connecting with people. So that the job is huge. It's huge in terms of children's ministry, or you may be working in youth or whatever context. The job is huge, and no one person can get it all done. So therefore, it's a matter of partnering, about getting alongside people. And so for me, I want to change the world for children. I want to make it a better place. And so I start with the one child in my local primary school that I mentor every week, through to Brisbane-wide events, through to Australia-wide events, and now globally. And so the networking is our work in things like kids games. I'm part of the team that launched Kids Games back in 2002. And so that's a network of 80 churches working together to connect with children and families in their community. I chair the Queensland Children's Ministry Network, which is a network of all the children's ministry leaders in all the denominations, 19 of them, and parachurch movements in Queensland. And so these are the statewide people with a statewide brief for kids in their community. And so we meet together every term, and Ignite has happened in recent years, which is the annual Children's Ministry Expo. And it's grown from 300 delegates through to 450, through to 725, through to 900 this year. And that's because each of the denominations own it. Each of the communities shape this thing, they promote this thing, they provide trainers for this thing. It's a visible representation of what can be done when good networking happens, and there's a high degree of ownership within that. So those are a couple of things.
Okay. So you get these, you become a part of getting these sort of groups together. You obviously play a big role in facilitating that. What drives it? I mean, obviously there are some big events that come out of these things, but I gather there would be more behind it than just running an event or seeing an event come up.
Yes. For those interested in getting networks underway, you don't go into a networking arrangement or event with an agenda in mind. It's about connecting with people who share similar passions, work in similar contexts, and then it's through that connecting, trying to discern from God what we can do together, how we can help each other. I have 3 R's for networking. I'm a primary school teacher, so let's get back to the basics. And the key to effective networking is relationships, followed by relationships, and can you guess the third one? I'll give you a hand, it's relationships. Yeah.
I was going to say rocket ships.
Yeah, that's number 4.
I don't know why. Yes. Yeah, okay, good.
Because you work with youth, Steve, not with children.
Rocket.
I just can't emphasise the importance of relationships. It's about drinking coffee with people. It's about going onto their territory, going out of your comfort zone, going to where they are, hearing about their journey and building that relationship. And because I've been in this job for 25 years, that's 25 years of investing in people. This is nothing about me, but it's just what I like doing. I like drinking coffee. But while you do that, you don't want to drink alone. So you drink with someone and you share stories. And out of that comes this magic ingredient of networking, which is trust. And if you want networking to happen, there's got to be a degree of trust. If I'm going to work with you, or if I'm going to go and visit you, or if I want to get some ideas from you, I need to trust you in a certain degree. So, and that's where, for example, the Ignite event every year and the kids games, it's all about trusting people. A church will sign up to kids games because their denominational rep is on the board that's shaping the seminar. I trust him. So it's using those trust relationships so that we can work together in partnership for the kingdom of God. I do have 3 real R's. One is relationships. The second one is what is the second one?
Rocket ships.
Respect. When you work together with people who may have a similar passion, that work in a different context, different denominational background. There are different emphases. We know the things very well that separate us as Christians. Too often we focus on those things, on this percentage of the things, whereas this whole area that we have in common, that's what we need to celebrate. And so good networking is about respecting where people come from and not trying to browbeat you to change your thinking about whether I should wear hats to church or whether I should be fully baptised or, all the things. It's about respect, and it doesn't mean I'm going to agree with everything you say, but it's holding those things in tension based on respect. And the third one is about reciprocating. That is, networking is about, I want to get something, I want to invest my time into this network so that I can know what books to read, what strategies to use, what programs to shape, what's good about this, what's not, what we can do together. But it's not just about what I can get, it's how I can serve. And so this reciprocating process, again, it's a building block of good networking that's going to take place. I don't know what your question was, but that's where I went.
Oh, no, yeah, well, your answer's obviously better than my question anyway, regardless of what it was. Now, you as a person, that's a little bit about, I guess, some of your, in inverted commas, professional type networking, but for you as a person that practices youth work and youth ministry, what sort of networking do you do to keep yourself healthy and well and on track?
Yes. I network, funny word. My personal networking happens at 3 levels.
They got R's? They got R's?
No, they're not R's. Actually, they're C's, but I won't go.
Do you find that, given those range of activities you sort of mentioned there, from the more informal of coffee and just chatting to running, I guess, imagine large meetings and organisations in a sense, that you need a range of skills to be able to be an effective networker?
Yes, there is a skill set that goes with networking. And not everyone, networking doesn't come naturally. It's a skill, it's a gift, I think. But I think if those 3 R's are a great starting point. If you haven't been involved in networking, trying to, for example, if you're chaplains out there and you want to network with local churches in an area, or local youth workers, or local kids pastors, to get them together is a great starting point. But then what do you do? So remember, it's about relationships. And for me, when I meet somebody new who comes into a denominational setting, who wants to work with kids, it's on the phone, can I buy a coffee? And I go and meet them on their turf and hear about their life. And so you begin that relationship. And then keep that respect in mind. And so if you're chairing or facilitating a networking gathering, it's to try and monitor if one particular person's becoming a bit too evangelistic about their particular theology, to try and come in and soften that, or so that's a bit of negotiating sort of skills that are required, and then that reciprocating thing. So
We've given us a lot to think about. Probably the last thing I just want to ask you guys, just on a more personal level, what's something you love about networking? What's something you struggle with?
Yeah, I love nothing better. We had our quarterly Queensland Children's Ministry Network meeting yesterday, and to be in a room with 12 key children's workers who've got some power, who are passionate about something, and we started dreaming together what we could do together. It's that what Jesus talked about in John 17, about unity. I pray that they may be one. Now, there will be differences amongst us, of course, but when we work together, there is such strength in that. And that just energises me, and it just builds the kingdom of God. And we can leave aside that little bit and respect that bit that separates, or that we're different. But let's celebrate all this that we have in common. Let's find that common ground. And when I see a Baptist and a Salvation Army, an Assembly of God and a Brethren person sitting together, along with all the rest, chatting and enjoying that fellowship, it's I think it's fantastic. Yeah. And the second question was?
Struggle?
Yes, the struggle is, I guess I've been at this for a while, and the struggle is when you have new people come on board who this is all new to them, and you see these young gung-ho people who are, and I love that passion, but often the blinkers are on, and so it's not a struggle, it's more just you want to journey with them and help them to remove those blinkers and look a bit wider. So it's just having that patience. Lord, give me the patience, journey with them, and it's not that I know all the answers, but you have sort of seen a good way of operating in the past, and so that's a constant journey, because people come and go throughout the mix, and so it's coming alongside and helping through the Spirit of God to just touch their heart and see just a wider vision for how we can do this together, and don't be so defensive, and that's it.
Jerry, thanks for your time.
Thanks, Dave.